Now if we put a substance or some material in between this, it's going to change what it receives. That is reflected, or you'll see that on the screen. So the whole concept of wireless power has many applications. So let me turn this on, and as you can see the light coming on. Now you may be able to see the frequency there. That particular frequency is quite interesting because it's coming from the oscillator. Now differential change is what is detected when you detect a different type of material. What you see is a differential in time. dV over dt, rate of change, is equal to the time, the distance. And what you're seeing here is a rate of change, and what we're going to do is change this oscillation, and of course things will start coming on. The light will get brighter as you see it. You see the two lights light up, the indicators, and then you see the other lights coming on. This light right here is incandescent. That light's incandescent. These are basically driven by a small battery, and they're just indicators. We can take these around, move them around here, and you can see the areas of the radiation. This also goes underneath the table. We can also put this over here if you want to, and it's going to have a different frequency. So we have the indicators here, indicators over there, the incandescent lamps, and the CRT, or excuse me, the monitor, and receiving antenna. So let me power this up a little bit, just run it up and down a little bit. I don't know if you can see the vertical lines coming on the TV. We do have vertical lines. You put something in the middle, it changes the frequency, it changes the monitor. You can see it just briefly when I put my hand even in it. If you put some type of material or something, you'll see a difference in this particular receiver. So that's what we have, and basically, once again, I'm going to do some close-ups on this, and since I'm doing the camera work and the narration, explaining it, I'll go through as I do close-ups. So let me get the camera, and I'll leave this running so we can see what's going on. And let me go back here, and we'll get some close-ups here. This right here is the lamp that's on. It's a collector that sits right there. Small transformer that I have designed. You tune it, and basically, just to show you where the wires go, I'll back up a little bit. Wire goes to an antenna. Wire goes to the monitor. You can see the vertical lines in sync, so to speak. And this is an indicator, and it's kind of humming. And it's powered by its own battery, so it's getting a signal to turn on from the lamp, but it's getting power from its own batteries. We can do the same thing, but we don't have to have batteries. Now, once again, there's a light, incandescent light. This particular screen is just laying on the table. I have it that way so you can see the rest of it. This is a collector, if you will. The collector is wired in a certain manner, and of course it drives the, let me back this up so I can find it, drives the lamp with the red and green wire. The yellow wire is antenna wire, and then the other wire going to a smaller antenna picks up the energy. Now what you have here is the pod. This is the original pod that sends the information to that particular antenna, coming from the oscillator, coming from a very small power supply. And then basically as I pan through this, you'll see the whole setup. And that's primarily what's going on. It's a certain type of energy, certain type of signal that we emit. Now, I'm going to turn the camera off and try and get a better view. What I'm going to do is do a dark type demonstration here. And I'll turn off the lights. Okay, I have this light on. Basically, as you can see, this one coming on. I will turn that light off over there so we can essentially have a little better view. I'm going to try and speak up And if I can, you'll see this particular light come on here. And of course it's going to turn this one off because essentially we kind of taken part. But you can see that we're running power in all different types of directions around here. Actually, it has a very defined pattern. And that's what you change. You change that pattern. As you change that pattern, you detect different